Hello and welcome to the Limit of Adhesion's Prototype League Round 2. We are here at Spa. My name's Mark and joining me in the commentary booth is Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm great, Matt. Thank you very much. It's fantastic to be here in Spa, in Belgium, and it's such a fantastic place to be. Lovely part of the world, and with a fantastic racetrack. Lots of flowing corners, fast straights, and little technical bits in the middle as well. Fantastic. Really looking forward to the racing here.
Indeed. And on the left of your screen we have the time boards. We've got LMP2s represented by the gold bars and LMP3s represented by those lighter blue sort of turquoisey bars. We've got Afonso Aguiar on pole position for the LMP2s and Mark Zeff on pole position for LMP3s. So, yeah, as we see, the last of the drives just spawn up onto the grid, and I think we are pretty much ready to go. So we see a couple of drives out of position. We've got Dan Shaw and we've got Rice as well, spread in amongst the LMP3 cars. So, yeah, that'll make for a very interesting start. So,
yeah, they'll have to be careful. They'll have to be careful as they make their way through the LMP3s. Obviously, the speed difference is quite noticeable between these two different prototypes.
Indeed. So we've got Aguiar on pole position in the LMP2s, tucked up behind the pace car. We'll have a bit of a gap between the LMP2s and the LMP3s there, as you can see on your screen now. Mark Zeff keeping the LMP3 field nice and far back behind the LMP2s, and Afonso Aguiar now will lead them around the final corner onto the back straight and take the green flag, and we are racing at Spa. Afonso Aguiar there with a great getaway. As we see, David Lugokeki has made a position up on Stephen Greening. Aguiar now as he heads down to Eau Rouge and Radion and down the Camel Straight. Lugokeki will be trying to sneak into his slipstream. As we see, that's Gavin Kelly in 9th trying to get past Murphy. And gosh, this string of LMP2 cars, they rocket down the Camel Straight. Have you ever seen anything like it, Steve? Brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, such speed and what have you. And the cars, I mean, fantastic. Same as the LMP3s here. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see him on track.
Oh, there's Greening trying to get past Lugokeki, and in making that move, he looks like he's going to lose the position to Merin Hugavin and say, oh, they make contact, and both cars are in the wall. Greening had a very big hit on the wall, so we'll have, yeah, hopefully both drives are okay, and that's dropped Greening down to 7th behind Messenger, his Risky Racing teammate. And here we have Dan Shaw in the number 7 LMP2 car trying to make his way past all of the LMP3 cars.
Yeah, it looks as though Rice is struggling a little bit to get through as quickly as Dan Shaw, but I'm sure he'll get through in the end, certainly on the faster straights.
Indeed. It's worth pointing out that with the iRacing's qualifying system, the cars are split by class, but if you don't set a qualifying time, you go to the back of the grid. So that's why Shaw and Rice are out of position. As we see, that's a spin for Hugavin. And as he tries to make his way back onto track and not lose too much time, he's lost quite a few positions. That's him down to 9th, it looks like he will be, because Gavin Kelly looks like he's got that position.
He has, yep.
So yeah, Hugavin down to 9th after that uncharacteristic spin. Hugavin, of course, very, very talented in these prototypes, but very, very talented, full stop. And he's losing yet more positions. So yeah, he's now down to 11th after starting 4th.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to cook these tyres as well, and if he has done, then he's going to be struggling through the technical bits of the corner, especially down Eau Rouge and Radion and places like that. So he's got to be careful to cool these tyres now, as we see the LMP3s going down at exact point.
Yep, so here's Mark Innes in that Wizards liveried LMP3 chasing down Steve Pepper, because these two have had many race between them, jockeying for position. Remember, it was the USF 2000 at, which oval circuit was it last year? But they had a really good scrap in the
Yeah,
closing phase
that
of
was
that
Thompson.
race.
Yeah, that was
It
Thompson.
was
Fantastic.
Thompson,
Yeah,
yeah, that was it.
was it Battle of the commentary booth?
Battle of the Com booth, yes,
That's
indeed.
the
As we
one.
see now, Don Parker up to third position. He's defending from Maxwell, who is the reigning champion in these prototype cars. To see, Aguar and Lugakeki have got a little bit of a gap back to Parker now. As we see, Innes now all over the back of Pepper. As we see the Battle of the Com booth continuing. Stephen Maxwell now onto the back of Parker. Sorry, that's Messenger onto the back of Maxwell. Parker's just up ahead of them.
Yeah, it's getting used to these liveries on the cars.
Indeed, of course, this is only the second round of these prototype cars. We did have the LMP2 championship last year, but the LMP3s are brand new for this season.
Luckily, the LMP3s, there's two teams of Cool Camel, so we've got 4 drivers in Cool Camel. We've got Zeph and I think it's James Pepper in Cool Camel Gold, and we've got Steve Pepper and Rich Meisters in Cool Camel Silver.
Indeed, we do. So there you go. We were complaining about the Wizards having too many teams on the grid, but that's what 4/9 of the LMP3 grid is a Cool Camel, and we've got Innes as well in there, who is a Cool Camel for the USF team. He's racing for the Wizards in this prototype league, but he is definitely a fan of that Cool Camel team. So yeah, that's more than half of the grid have some sort of affiliation with the Cool Camel.
Yeah, and it looks like Innes is looking getting this slipstream, the draft from Pepper to go past him, and who's that on the outside there? Is it Rich Meisters as well?
That looks like Dan Rice as well
Dan
getting
Rice.
involved in that.
There you go.
In the LMP2, and here we have Innes to the inside of Pepper. Innes looks like he's got the inside line and he's made that position. But Innes has lost it. He's onto the grass. Innes has gone wide into the gravel, and Innes down to 7th. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, very respectful driving though on the run into that chicane.
Indeed, those two drivers, Innes and Pepper, they do chat to each other quite a lot. Good friends they are, and yeah, very respectful on track of each other. But of course, both of them want to be ahead in the Battle of the Com box, so Innes will be kicking himself after that little mistake there.
I'm sure he'll get a second bite of the cherry.
As we see there, Bobby Crivelli fighting with Ben Chalcroft. Crivelli has the inside line. Chalcroft looks to try and be late on the brakes and go around the outside, but that's never going to work. Into La Source. Chalcroft will duck back inside. Crivelli will try and get the slipstream, get a better run down to Eau Rouge and Radion. This is on board with Chalcroft. He backs out of it. He doesn't try and go too wide through Eau Rouge. That is very sensible. He looks to try and get the slipstream and try and get past down to Lecum. But is he a bit too far back, Steve? I think he might be.
I think so, yeah. You need to be a lot closer than that to take advantage.
And so here we have on board, well, not on board, but watching Afonso Aguar. That's a big dive down the inside of Sam Stott in the LMP3. Stott there. Oh, he's getting in the way of Lugakeki. Lugakeki tries to go around the outside of No Name Corner and manages to do so, but he looks like he's lost a couple of tenths there to Aguar. Stott there with an unfortunate start to his LMP3 campaign. As we see Parker now down the inside. Because it's so hard to tell at a very quick glance which is the LMP2 and the LMP3.
Yeah, you just got to look at the rear wing. I think the P2 has 2 struts, I think, and it's connected to the rear bodywork, whereas the P3 is just 1 strut in the middle.
Yeah, so there we go. We're 2 wide, we're 3 wide, we're almost 4 wide as we go down, approaching Blanchimont. You never want to be going 4 wide through Blanchimont. That's a recipe for disaster.
Oof, definitely
As
not.
we see Messenger and Greening going side by side. Greening having to go slightly wide and take to the outside line of Blanchimont, but they are all safely through. Although, having said that, Greening is now going to the pits. We didn't see any contact in that little melee, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to Greening, but we will try and find out and let you know. As we see now, Maxwell trying to hunt down Parker once again for that final podium position in the LMP2 class.
Yeah, Zeph's still with the lead in the P3s with Russell Bright 2.5 seconds behind him, and 4 seconds behind Russell for third at the moment is Winslade with Pepper at the minute fourth.
The LMP3 grid is starting to split out and spread out a bit. The LMP2, especially at the front, is still very, very close. We've got just half a second separating our leaders, and there they are. Aguirre just half a second ahead of Lugakeki, with Parker 3.5 tenths or so behind. And they're about 50 odd seconds behind the tail end of the LMP3 group. Apart from Stott, who ran into issues. Yeah, so just having a look at the timer, I'm not sure if they're going to catch up. I think it's going to be fairly close, but yeah, I think we might not get too much LMP2 versus LMP3 action.
No, I don't think so. I think it's fairly clear that apart from if you were to have an incident or an accident, I don't think they're going to catch any people. I think it's fairly clear that there's enough of a time gap and a distance on track to actually not catch each other.
Indeed, I think a bit of a double whammy. Spa being a longer track means it's further for the LMP2s to go, and also it being a longer track means that we have less laps in which to catch the LMP3s. So, yeah, as we see on board with David Dlugokeki trying to chase down Aguirre, he's got that gap down to 0.3 of a second now. You know, he might just be close enough to have a look through Eau Rouge and down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, he's got to keep his foot flat through there.
Yeah, but he is very close now, down to just 1/10 of a second. Which way's Aguirre going to go? Aguirre sort of in the middle forces Dlugokeki to take to the outside line. Dlugokeki takes the outside line. Is he going to go all the way around the outside? He's going to try late on the brakes. That gives him the inside line as they go through Lake Coum. And has Dlugokeki done enough? He has. As they come through Malmedy down to Rivage. And Dlugokeki takes the lead. Demotes Aguirre to second place, who goes very, very wide there through Rivage.
But once again, very respectful racing, keeping it clean through that set of corners is fantastic driving.
Indeed. So yeah, we have a new race leader, David Dlugokeki, who I'll admit is fairly new to the league. Actually, I think he's done 1 or 2 rounds so far.
I think he has. Yeah,
definitely impressing is David Dlugokeki.
But it's like we said before, you know, with different races and things like that. It's such a friendly league that anybody can turn up. Oh, we have an incident. I'll go back to that in a moment.
That's Maranugavin.
Yeah, dropping him down to 13th. Yeah, like I say, you know, unless I get interrupted again, it's such a friendly league, and it's fantastic to have new drivers join and enjoy the racing. You know, if there's any problems, it's all talked out, and you know, there's so many drivers and so many people of different walks of life and places and what have you, and everybody gets on really well together, and everybody comes together on a Sunday and really enjoys what they're doing, and it's, you know, it's respectful, and people need to get involved, and you know, if they do, then we've got links and things like that at the end. Just come and join in, you know, say hello and race on a Sunday.
Definitely well said, that man. As we see, we've got Jao Tome in the pits. So, not quite sure what's happened to him, but he looks like he's had a very, very long pit stop. So, not sure if that's technical issues or just very extensive damage. But, unfortunately, that looks like a race over for him.
Yeah, we didn't get a replay, so it's impossible to see.
Yes, but in the LMP3s, we've still got Zeph from Bright, from Winslade, from Innis now. So something's happened to Pepper and Meisters. Must both have had little incidents or spins that we didn't see. But the fight is very much on in the LMP2 class. So we've got Dlugakeke. He's now got quite a sizable lead. 1.7 seconds back to Afonso Aguiar. 2 and a bit seconds back to Parker, but it's these guys here, Maxwell, Murphy, and Messenger, very close. As we see what's happened here, this is Russell Bright getting them all wrong under braking and just hitting that curb, and that's very frustrating for Bright. It looks as if, yeah, he missed the braking spot, but it was only he hit that curb wrong, and that's what unsettled the car. It wasn't the missing the braking spot. It was just that hitting that curb slightly wrong. So that's a big shame for him.
Easy done. Yeah, these cars are so low to the ground. Any sort of bump in the road or hitting a curb can send it completely off track.
Indeed. As we see now, Parker has caught up to Aguiar for second place, both in class and overall. So we'll see if Parker can get the move done. He's tucked up close. He'll definitely be getting a monster tow down the Camel Straight, and we'll see which way he goes. Afonso Aguiar very, very forcefully to the inside there, forcing Parker to go to the outside, and Parker, it's a drag race down to Lecombe. He'll be late on the brakes. Parker is late on the brakes, tries to go around the outside. That'll mean he's got the inside line for the next corner, but Aguiar has the inside line once again for Malmedy. Parker now forces to the inside for Beau Rivage. Late on the brakes. Parker to the inside. Can he get the move done? It looks like he won't be able to, as they're still side by side, Steve. Parker off the road, and that's the position for Parker. Parker up to second.
Again, such respectful racing there, side by side through about 5 or 6 different corners until eventually one of them wins out and comes out on top.
Indeed. So, Aguiar now from pole position has dropped to third place, and he's got Maxwell all over the back of his car. And in fact, Maxwell now going to the inside. No room through there. And that has just killed all momentum for Maxwell as they go down through the back straight, approaching Blanchimont. And he'll now have his eyes in the mirror, trying to defend from Murphy and Messenger right behind him.
Yeah, this is going to be close.
And Murphy now having a little look to the inside, but not late enough in the brakes. And Parker's round!
Contact!
So we had contact there between Aguiar and Parker. There. Oh dear.
Yeah, a late braking and
that was very late from Aguiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel really sorry for Parker there because he was completely innocent in all of that.
Yeah, passenger once Aguiar had sent it, there was no stopping, unfortunately. This Mark Zeff in lead of LMP3.
With that wonderful, wonderful SpongeBob helmet. It just cracks me up every time I see it. The SpongeBob's driving an LMP3.
Yeah, SpongeBob driving a cool camel.
He is indeed. So we've got Mark Zeff in the lead of the LMP3 from Winslade from Bright. And the LMP2 cars have crossed the finish line. We missed that in commentary. So Dlugakeke takes the win from Maxwell and from Murphy, also on the podium. So that late drama there for Parker and Aguas promoted Murphy up to 3rd place, Kelly 4th, Messenger 5th. And this man that we're watching, Mark Zeff, has just one corner to go before he wins the LMP3 class. And there he goes, safely through the bus stop. Mark Zeff is your LMP3 winner in the Cool Camel Gold team. There's Winstead just crossed the line, and Russell Bright finishing off in the podium positions. Marking is quite a long way back in 4th position, but yeah, I think he'll be quietly happy with that after a rather dramatic first half of the race for him.
Yep, so results from race 1 is first Dlugo Keke, followed by Stephen Maxwell and Mike Murphy, Gavin Kelly in 4th, Michael Messenger, Ben Chalcroft, my apologies, I can't see that, Bobby Crivelli,
Afonso Aguirre,
Ben Chalcroft, Afonso Aguirre, Nick Simone, Don Parker, Stephen Greening, James Renwick, Dan Shaw, and I apologise for the other 2 that I missed. In LMP3s we have Mark Zeff, Gareth Winslade, Russell Bright, Mark Innes, and Steve Pepper in 5th, Rich Meese is in 6th, Sam Stott, Xiao Tom and Stephen McCann bringing up 9th in the LMP3s.
Thanks for that, Steve. So yeah, if you've enjoyed watching this first race, we have got a reverse grid race coming right up. So that'll be the top 8 in the LMP2 class will be reversed, and we'll go again for another 15 minutes. So thank you very much for watching. My name's been Mark. Join me in the commentary booth has been Steve.
Yep, thanks very much, Mark. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Goodbye for now.
See you for race 2. Goodbye.